Neurodiversity Week was actually meant for, the intention behind it was just to challenge stereotypes and challenge misconceptions of those with neurodiversity and neurological conditions. My school life was me sitting in the class, not knowing anything that was going on around me. One day when I was about 18 years old, I was sitting in a doctor's office. Obviously, I wasn't following anything. I went home, and on the way home, I asked my mom what happened in the meeting, and then she was just telling me about my autism. And I was like, what the hell is autism? Because autism just sounds like something you would use to describe someone that's completely like immobilized, you know? I was just like, I went to this internship, and then they were basically training me to be a cognitive skills trainer. And then when I was working with individuals that were similar to me, what was crazy is I could tell what they were going to do before they would even do it. Like, I could connect with them more because as a facilitator and as someone who has neurodiversity, grew up with autism, grew up with learning difficulties. I went home one day and I asked my father, if I launched my own brain center, would you help me? And him being a business professor was like, so son, what's your motivation? And I was like, well, Dad, you know, like I grew up ostracized my whole life. I couldn't participate, whether it was at home or in a classroom. I got abused for my condition. I know how much I suffered as a child. I don't want to see anyone else suffer like I did. And I know that this training works. He was like, okay, that's not really a business plan, but he was sold. So long story short, my family helped me launch Brain Abilitiez in 2015. So there I was, now as a sort of neuroscience professional, training people to, let's just say, improve their core cognitive ability, whether it is their focus, whether it was their memory, whether it was their productivity. And then people used to ask me, you know, like, if you're disabled, how can you help, let's just say, me if I've got cognitive weaknesses? So then eventually, I just dropped this professional hat aside and I started to be a bit more open about my past. And then I woke up one day to find my story on the front page of a national newspaper in Dubai. I went back to university. I was on a grudge match with my past and I managed to get A's, and at the same time I became Dubai and UAE's #1 student entrepreneur, and that was in 2018. So common signs of learning difficulties with regards to Neurodiversity Week. But basically now, because of the technology era, everyone is experiencing more of these sorts of, let's just say, difficulties in their daily life. However, I launched Brain Abilitiez to help anyone enhance their brain's core. Because what we have found is that basically, going beyond labels, cognitive skills are trainable. So what we do is we target these areas and we improve them by training the brain. We average about a 15 percentile increase across all cognitive skills. To cut down how we operate as an organization, we don't label individuals, we assess their core cognitive profile. When we see their cognitive profile, we then see their strengths and their weaknesses based on these areas. So these areas, long story short, make up everything the human brain needs to function in this reality, whether it is at work, whether it is at home, whether it is at school. And all we do is we target them and we improve them. So in other words, we're busting convention here, we're busting sort of misconceptions, and we're just saying, you know, imagine a world where everyone can think faster, learn easier, and perform better. So what a 21-point increase in IQ basically does, so let's just say someone at an average IQ of 100, it basically takes them to a superior IQ. So we've seen it all in our centers. It's just about what we want to demonstrate as possible. An individual who came to us with dyslexia was 16 years old and 9 years behind reading age, left us just about on par with reading age. That's our student in 2017, and he now works with us basically. So he's now one of our brain trainers, so he can give you a brain workout.